I want to introduce you, Mr. Ivan Mercado with the Org Dev Group. Just hit it and away you go. Nope, you don't need that, you're good.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I am here to present a problem and a question, which is that most small businesses and startups are using AI or using business automation in a laggard-minded or a poor way. And so my name is Ivan Mercado. I founded a company called Org Dev Group about 5 years ago. We got about 10 developers under staff, and we help startups and small businesses scale by automating their processes. And so McKinsey did a study that we followed in January, and this study showed that only 1% of leaders classify that companies as mature in AI development and deployment. So this is the two different ways that when we go into small businesses or startups that we actually see them utilizing AI specifically. On the left side, you see what I would consider the majority, the 99% that hasn't done deployment, which is as an assistant. You guys are logging in there, it's prompt driven, it's individual to the person or the employee, and then it's very manual, and then it's chat based from there. Still extremely useful, it's just very old at the moment right now. And then, so let me actually show you some of what those use cases are. Here's 4 different, probably something that everybody's used in the moment. Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, there's a few more out there that you guys are probably using. And here's what you're generally going to do. I see a lot of the businesses have maybe a Word document, and that Word document has a lot of prompts saved on it, or maybe even Excel, and that has a ton of prompts, and then those are shared or live within the organization. So we see a lot of that. So that you have the same prompt and you're throwing it into your ChatGPT or your 4.0, whatever you're using, and then it's giving you an output. The issue with that is this, is that when we look at the organization, Mary here is using ChatGPT in the manual way, and it's outside of her organization. So she's feeding it in prompts, sometimes dropping in uploads of the organization, and then she's now receiving this information that she has to manually input into her infrastructure or CRM, whatever it is that they're using, and it's outside of the organization. So what that does is it's outdated, it's unscalable, time consuming to the max. This is one of the main things, is that it's untraceable. It's very difficult for a business owner to go back to their employees or their 1 or 2 employees and say, hey, how did you get this information? Where'd you get that back? Now you guys got to go back into some of your chat lines and your chains and figure out where that was. And it's inefficient. So what I'm going to show you is the right side, which is what we actually create, which is AI embedding. So inside of your organization, if you guys can think, you can actually take those prompts and automate them. Now, instead of it being an individual within your organization or just the owner, it's an organizationally trained model. So you're taking all the best prompts, putting them together into a button that everybody is using, and then it's instant. Everybody's using it within the organization, and it's task-based. We do that with this sort of a model. Again, our target audience is small to startup companies, and this works very well for them. We use a CRM, whatever that CRM would be that they're using themselves. You take your favorite AI component that you guys want, and then we automate all of that and embed it through N8N or Make.com. And here's what that looks like. Each of those that you were using as a prompt, those end up becoming automated nodes or modules that we're going to input those prompts inside of. So now behind your organization, whatever those prompts would be that your employees were using, we're going to embed it. We're going to take those prompts and start to put it inside of an automated module for you, so that this way all you're doing is pressing a button and it's happening. Now, what does that look like? It looks like this. This is basically a fully embedded prompt where if you look over here on the right side, somebody would be pressing a button now inside of your CRM, and then from there that button is going into, in this case scenario, it's going into invoicing through Wave, and it's pulling those invoices, and then it's creating an email for them where that one person would have at that point went into Wave, pulled the invoice, and started to go into a prompt to pull that. All of it is happening within one button press now for that individual. Not only is it pulling the invoice, it's going into ChatGPT, putting the prompt that the organization wants, going into that individual's email and sending it out and putting the update to the team. All of that is happening within a couple seconds. And so now Mary comes through and she presses a button. It's inside of the organization, and then from there that button prompts the AI to do the prompt that everybody is using at the moment, the best prompt, and then it goes right back out and Mary receives it. And so it's inside of the organization, what we consider AI embedding or organizationally trained model. We do this with buttons, so I love buttons. Everybody loves buttons. They want to be able to feel the click of something, so we do it also with statuses. So if somebody within your organization changes a status or moves something, we can also automatically trigger this automation to do the AI prompt and go ahead and create it. And we can use it with we can also use it with dependency triggers. So if somebody else did something in your organization, that can be a trigger to automatically create an AI. What does this do? This is really the way that most businesses today, when that 1%, this is how they're scaling right now. This is the innovative way to do it. Tons of time saving, because now all of your workforce is using the best trained prompt. Everybody has a little bit of something within their prompts that you probably want to grab. Now everybody's using one prompt, and it's traceable and efficient at that point. So this is what the stack looks like. And so if you can see, what we're looking at is that AI is right underneath whatever your CRM or your ERP is. And then from there, all of your business use cases. So the 10 examples of what you would use: DocuSign, QuickBooks, Outlook, Forms, Calendly, your website, whatever it is that you're using, should be able to pull directly from that button into your AI, into your workflow automation, and you're never touching any of these ever again. You're not going into them. You don't have 10 screens open up anymore. And so we're red. And so don't be one of the 1% of leaders that classify their companies as mature in AI deployment. The possibilities are endless. Thank you. How was that time?
Okay, that was good.
Okay.
Just over 6 minutes.
Okay.
So that worked well. Okay, questions?
Go ahead.
Mr. AI.
I'm very interested in learning about NA.
Oh,
So
Mike.
I do automations. I've done a lot of AI. What are you doing on the back end of the AI? Are you putting in the whole brand story, the company story, or things like that into an
Correct.
AI assistant?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're building out the AI assistant.
So sometimes the answer to that is twofold. Sometimes the task that the business owner wants doesn't need the brand story and all of that added to it. Sometimes the task is just second level logic, if then scenarios, and AI is really good at that. So you just add that functionality into it. Other times when we're creating prompts like this, absolutely. As you know, probably, as you're going through these, you can add tons and tons of proprietary information already,
Right.
and then we're just filling that in, and you're just creating this agent per se. Most of the time we don't use them, but when we need to, we will.
So
Yes.
on the business model side, OpenAI just came out with building the agent builder, and so did Google, building the agent builders inside their own studios. And how are you preparing for a lot of this external stuff where these big enterprises are going to come through, and OpenAI is going to challenge N8N and Make to almost disintegrate them in a lot of ways, just simply because they have the market share and everybody knows about them, where only if you're actually in the automation industry do you really understand what's going on with N8N and Make. So how are you going to protect what you're doing when these companies are going to be approached from the enterprise side, utilizing all the tools built into OpenAI or built into Google?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think you answered it in your statement, which is most of the business owners that we touch, they're nowhere near this. They don't even know what Make is or N8N. So that information that you and I know about with the agent to agent and what they're creating inside right now, that can go directly towards to compete with Make. These business owners that we're going after, they need a hand. They need somebody to not just be a hand to pick them up and help them through this journey. And so that software platform is just going to be another one, let's say, that no one's going to really understand within the business concept of ownership or small businesses. So we just want to place ourselves as continuing to be that helping hand that will take somebody from beginning to end, hands-free, test. I want you to test. And that's something that no matter what other platform comes out, I'm already training my guys to try to be proficient in that as well. So I don't.
What's your price point?
It depends. It's by complexity. So it can be anywhere $300. We automated an entire company front to back for 15 grand. So it's reasonable and it's one time. So I have no monthlies for me. Yeah, no, but I love that model. It's transparent. If you pay for an automation, it should be automated. I should not have to have you hooked to me for your entire life. Everybody comes back to me. My customer lifetime cycle is about 2 years right now, and that continues to increase. So as they need something, they come back and they say, hey, I need this also automated. And those additional wallet share projects are what we thrive on.
Okay, so, and I'll be right there.
Yeah.
So give us an example of like something you would automate that a business owner would want
Construction
done.
is one of our favorite ones right now. So in the construction industry, you're creating proposals all the time. Proposals are different for every single estimator. We take all of the estimators' native knowledge and a bunch of what the ownership team has and their specification teams. We bring that all into a really nice prompt where people are literally dragging and dropping ITBs into an upload button. It spits out your entire proposal from beginning to end. It can be 10 pages, 15 pages, 150 pages. It doesn't matter. And right there you have AI just utilizing all of the knowledge that your company has to create this 3 to 4 hour project that every estimator in construction is generally doing, and it does it in seconds. So, go ahead.
When you integrate a client, let's say you sign a client to a deal and you're going to build them an end-to-end workflow with their LLM of choice, how are you handling the ownership of the agent itself? Are you purchasing it on their behalf, and then when you launch it, you give it to them?
Yeah, that's a really good. So again, in order to keep ourselves on the model of transparency and integrity with no monthlies, it's theirs. So we do a credentialing at the beginning. It takes about an hour, and we basically sit our client down with whoever they're choosing. Sometimes it is the CEO, sometimes it's the CEO's EA, and from that point, they're signing up for all their platforms, and then this way it's all theirs, and then the ownership stays on their end.
Do you ever find that they break your system, or that, let's say the system hallucinates?
Yeah.
It's broken.
We incorporate a support ticketing system behind inside of their CRM for those occasions where you can take a snapshot. We also incorporate a lot of, as you guys know, some of you Make and N8N and these workflow automation platforms have error modules that you can use, and so we just trigger those to trigger us to come inside of it.
In your initialization, like in your phase where you're like initializing it, how long are you handling the client where you're going through troubleshooting? Or is there, like, they have to troubleshoot, like things work in
Yeah. I mean, that's our
reality.
favorite part is we want to get customers. It takes about 2 weeks depending on the task that they want.
2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. And it takes that long, so it depends on what we're automating. So it's all by complexity. So it's difficult to answer that question. But most of the time, on average, my customers are trying to break, and I tell them, break it. Try to break it, because I want you to try to do what you're going to do right now. And they're testing within 2 weeks and trying to break whatever they can, and then we're recording that and fixing it.
Thank you.
We have one more.
This is fantastic. The question is, all depends on the founder and CEO and the team.
100%.
Productivity, efficiency, that's fantastic.
100%.
Without execution, it's nothing, zero. So you have to know whether your founder has a proper mindset. He is usually the bottleneck.
All the time.
Okay, so this is fantastic, all the things you are doing. Your success depends upon the founder and everything. How do you deal with that? How do you figure that out in the beginning?
Yeah, we have built over the past year a bunch of ROI tools, because generally it's not just the founder. Sometimes it's the CFO.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's somebody within the C-suite that's
team.
that's really wanting to pull back on change. And so the change management aspect of it, we've provided a bunch of ROI tools that we've created in-house for them that speak to them. And then we do what's called a platform audit, and that builds them a visual tool, a visual map, and that normally gets them over the hump. Like, hey, here's all of your inefficiencies here. You can integrate and automate these 5 areas and save you X. And that normally gets them. If they don't get over the hump, then at that point I have to exit because we've spent too much time.
Yeah, that's the problem right now.
Yeah,
Okay?
I
want you to
agree.
know that. It's the team. You need one person. Screw it up.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. That's what happens.
Oh,
That's the reason
yeah,
hardly
I'm
one
with you.
person succeed.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Shane. That's absolutely true.
So you might have just answered that question, but I guess I'll ask it at a higher level. Does your process involve also business process improvement? So you just talked about efficiencies in the tasks they're doing. 100%. Do you then ask that question of like, okay, why are we even doing this, and what is it getting you?
That's why we created the company. It kind of happened naturally, organically. The org dev comes from I have about 2 decades within organizational development. I started super young, and that is what organizational development is. We look at processes, and we figure out why. Is it even working? Is there a pain point, pitfall, or bottleneck within this process? So that is inherent now when we're doing automations. And so when we're automating, we're looking at a microprocesses and saying, hey, this doesn't jive right. Here is a map of what's happening so that they can visually see it, because normally it's intangible, what we're talking about. Sarah doesn't talk to Lisa, and the reason for it is because Mike is withholding all the information. And so I show them how that's working within swim lanes, and then I tell them, here's the better way. So here's current and future state. And then they normally go with that, and then that's how we work. So yes, absolutely. We'll create process maps. And I think that becomes that's one of our competitive advantages within the market, is that we have that OD background, and it really helps out the ownership team.
All right, fantastic. Got to put your contact info. Do you have that?
I don't. I didn't put it on there. I thought I wasn't allowed to.
No.
In the email it said, no worries. I'll put it
No,
on
you can
there.
put your contact.
Okay. Okay.
So make sure we talk afterwards because I have needs for your services.
Okay.
Hey, Ivan. Great presentation. Congratulations with the, it seems like a successful business. My question is, it seems like in your architecture, in terms of AI model, it looks like you're trying to go to the human-in-loop process, because you're doing it, and it feels like it's more like manual. You're automating, but you are doing the human-in-loop part manually. So did you consider to automate that part?
Yeah. So internally, I have about 600 automations in my organization. I generally take away that, but I trust that. I have to be able to, as Shane was just saying, most business owners, this is such a drastic change for them that they want that lever. They want that in-loop feature. Right. And so I have to provide it for them. Right. Most of the time, you don't need it. Like, if somebody does X, I can trigger an automation from there and everything work for them. But that's too much change for the business owner, so a lot of that is just change management from like an OD point of view. What can the business owner and his team withstand? Because they're generally very resistant to too much change. So a lot of times I have to create manual loops that should never be there, but it's helping them out. It's still 70% more effective or efficient. You know, the dragging and dropping and the pushing of buttons, most of the time you don't need it, but they want it. Go ahead.
Okay, you got another question? Okay. Last one, thank you.
And it's like, I'm kind of curious of like specific use cases. Let's say your interior design company and your automation is they're going to schedule, they're going to pre-qualify and schedule a meeting. I imagine there's multiple N8N steps happening there. And let's say it's 97% accurate, so each step is 97% accurate. How can you be confident that your AI is not making mistakes? Is that the human in loop that you're...
Yeah, I think I think there's a difference between automating tasks and using AI. I generally don't use AI for that task. So it's, as long as you've paid your monthly on 8AN, it's 100%, because I'm not using AI in that flow. You don't need it. So I'm only using AI about 10 to 20% of the time within organizations, because most of the business processes they need to automate is from one platform to another. I need to go into my QuickBooks, pull this estimate. I then need to open up my Outlook, create this email. All of that, you don't need AI for that. And so I would, that's generally, I don't see that, so most of the time I won't be using AI for that instance. I only use it for hyper complex or prompt driven stuff.
Would you say most of your builds are back end or front end?
Both. It 50-50. Yeah, I have to restructure most businesses front end so that it's capable of doing this. Thank you.
Stuff. So I actually, I'm like lost in some of this stuff. Swim lanes and, but that's a good thing. We got to run. But what can we, as the Orlando 1 Million Cups community, do for you to help you in your business right now?
Yeah, right now our goal, we're trying to partner in the community specifically. So we're partnered with UCF Incubation, we're partnered with Grow Osceola, the Commission and County of Lake County. That's most of the chambers that are around here. That's really our goal. I really want to help startups and small businesses to not trip over themselves and do kind of I want them to do the best practices immediately. So wherever I can get into, that's where all of our sponsorship and funding right now for marketing is going, is how can I get into the city, the county, here in Central Florida. This is our home and we want to be able to help out our home.
Okay.
So whatever that looks like, accelerator programs, whatever it looks like.
Okay, great. So make sure that you get with Ivan after to get his contact info. If you have questions, I need your thing. Give that to Michael right there, please. Okay, that was good.
Thank you.
So Michael Martinez here is working with Hershey's. They're starting a new nonprofit, and I think this is a really cool subject and topic that he's going to be sharing with us. Sorry about that. That really cool topic that he's going to be sharing with us. So, Michael?
Thank you very much, Jim. Yeah, so a little bit about myself. I've been a career recruiter. I was doing the grind like all of us, working for corporate recruiting, helping contribute to these larger companies. And about a year and a half ago, I decided that it wasn't for me. I kind of like did a rage quit scenario, tried to like find something more fulfilling, and landed on Milton Hershey School, which is a nonprofit school. We serve underprivileged kids that are going to be coming from poverty. So all these kids are going to come from low-income communities, and the Milton Hershey School provides everything they need to meet their full potential. So I thought I was applying for the Hershey, the chocolate company, but this is actually one of their subsidiaries. So the Milton Hershey School, we are pre-K through 12. All of our students are going to come from across the United States. The threshold for them to be qualified is 250% above the poverty line. So a lot of them just come from very low-income communities. Pre-K through 12, so like I said, they can come from just about any age group. The school itself is in Hersey, Pennsylvania, so we relocate these kids to Hersey, Pennsylvania during the semester. Similar to like a university model, they're going to come to our campus, live with us during the semester, and then they return to their families afterwards. So not like a foster school where we take custody of them. It's more like a boarding school model. So this gentleman right here, that's Milton Hershey. He started the Hershey Chocolate Company, and him and his wife, Catherine, they could not have kids of their own, so they decided to start, back in 1909, an orphan school for boys, and nowadays it's evolved to be a school for boys and girls. So here are a few of the items that we provide to our students. We provide them tuition, housing, hygiene. A lot of these kids never get health care, so we have health care services on our campus. Everything from dental, medical, anything they could possibly need. We provide these kids with opportunities to utilize technology. They go on international travel trips. And ultimately, just really giving them the resources of the Hershey Chocolate Company when they have nothing of themselves. We currently have 2,200 students that reside on our campus. We have 3 different divisions. Elementary school is going to be the youngins. We got the middle school division and then our senior division as well. So you can kind of see our splits here. When the kids are on our campus, obviously we got to take care of them. So I'm going to introduce a little bit about our home life. The home life scenario is these kids live in student homes and they're going to be under the care of house parents. House parents are professional parents that we hire in order to take care of these kids. And here's a little video on it.
As a house parent, working with my spouse daily,
we teach students skills outside of the classroom, such as cooking, laundry, respect, empathy, manners, thank you, please, character building. We are all here for the same reason, the same purpose, and it is just amazing. And it's really nice to watch the students grow, and then they come back and they thank you, and that is just awesome.
These are our student homes here. So when you are hired as a house parent, we provide our house parents with not only their salaried employees, we hire married couples. We provide them with a private residence. It's a 3-2 home, a single family home that is physically attached to the student home. So they have their private residence and they also have the student quarters as well. In that student home, there's typically going to be 8 to 12 students depending on the age group. The youngins, it's 8. Older the kids get, that number grows a little bit. So the house parents is specifically what I'm doing with the Milton Hershey School. They did a hiring data analysis and realized that 35% of their hires came out of Florida. So they took a shot. They hired me to come here and develop a program to help us find house parents. We started a year ago, and I've been grinding my way through this. 1 Million Cups has been a tremendous help for me because they didn't give me any structure or anything. They just said, go figure it out. So I really appreciate 1 Million Cups because they've been helping me learn about all these different steps that you have to do in order to find these potential house parent couples. So here's a little bit about the role, just kind of explaining, what the house parents do. But ultimately, like I said, they are professional parents through and through. We provide them all their cost of living, their utilities. All they have to do is take care of these kids, make sure they're on school on time. They're a mentor for them, so they're going to be teaching them life skills as well as everything that has to happen. So a little bit about the structure of a day in the life of a house parent. They're going to be working 9 days on, 3 days off. So in their 3 days off, just like a normal employee, that's their free time. They can do whatever they want. On their 9-day on schedule, they're going to be living alongside the students. The students go to school from 8 to 2, so that is also free time of the house parents. They can do whatever they like during that time. Just like if you're a parent, if you're out at the gym and your kid gets sick at school, you have to respond. You kind of have to leave the school itself, or I'm sorry, leave your personal matters to take care of your kiddos. So yeah, that's basically it. This is a role itself. So we're hiring married couples. We pay them $89,000. Technically split, each one gets about $45,000. They get the residence provided for them, the cost of living, all their meals. Pretty excellent retirement opportunities. I can't speak too much about that, but when you work under the Hershey company, they take care of you. 3 weeks of summer vacations provided as well. That's paid vacation time. These are salaried employees, so it's not like a contracted role. Once they're hired until they decide to quit or to move on. Yeah, and I guess I kind of flew through this. I see the yellow light, but one thing I'm really looking for is inroads on how to meet these house parent couples. We're not really looking to boost numbers by I'm not really driven, my metrics aren't just to boost numbers by selling the role. I'm trying to develop pipelines to find consistent ways to introduce this role to people. It's a really unique school. Not very many people here in Florida know about it because it's in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I didn't know that this chocolate company did anything so amazing. So really what I'm looking for ways to just give more presentations. People at churches, veteran organizations, they seem to align well with this role. So if you all are active in your community here in Orlando, I'd love to talk with you and see if you know of any organizations that would be interested in sharing this with their individuals. So, yeah, and I'd love to take any questions.
All right, perfect. That was great. He didn't tell you that you get a lifetime supply of any kind of Hershey chocolate you want.
Yeah, that's a pro and a con.
Just real quick too, so how many like parents or house parents, kind of give us an idea?
Yeah, so we currently have 2,200 students, and there's about 250 house parents that are taking care of those kids. And we have 12,000 students that have actually graduated from our school.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very interesting presentation. I'm a little bit puzzled with, is it a business presentation you're trying
No,
to?
so
or
this is a nonprofit, and I found 1 Million Cups just by trying to go to networking events and networking itself. And I'm a regular at the Tampa 1 Million Cups. So I'm trying to refine this. I'm the only individual that does this role. I'm the first of my kind. So my title is a regional recruiter, but I don't have metrics that are mandating that I have to push applications. I'm just really trying to figure out better ways to build pipelines. And 1 Million Cups in Tampa has been helping me a lot. And they said, hey, go present with other other 1 Million Cups. So here I am. But really, you know, I'm trying to kind of collaborate with you all. If you can think of ways that I can spread awareness about this and ultimately find people that would be interested in applying, I would love to learn a little bit more from you guys.
Cool. It's, my question then, nonprofit doesn't necessarily mean non-money, right? It's obviously making money. It's just a taxation. If you have it, if you're aware of, do you know what is their monetization model? And
so
do you think you can talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk. I'm not an expert. So when Milton Hershey passed away, he left his entire estate to the school. So we're funded in perpetuity. Basically, a little bit of chocolate proceeds go to this nonprofit, but we never asked for money because he donated his entire estate to us. So the trust right now is fully funded. So we're never asking for money. Although we are a nonprofit, we're a little bit unique in that regard. So we never have to ask for money or develop any funds.
So this is awesome. Thank you for presenting. I love how unique these opportunities are for sharing what we hear. So the first thing that really, as far as this is a very unique role, and so you're not looking for any average person. There's like a hyper-specific persona or group of maybe a couple different personas that this would fit. I think of, like you said, veterans. I think of people who have desire and a certain amount of stability and a certain amount of desire mixed. So have you ever done any exit surveys with or current surveys? Because this is such a unique role, there's more room for learning and room for improvement because I don't think there are that many jobs that are similar to this.
I don't think so either, yeah. We have had a consulting group kind of do an analysis of our front-end hiring data and some exit surveys as well. We do have 4 personas that we think are most aligned. It's going to be mission-driven individuals, so typically that's going to be either like missionaries or military folk, empty nesters, early retirees, young educators associate well with this role, and I'm having a brain fart, I forgot the 4th, but are religiously driven individuals as well. So that's kind of like our 4 groups that I'm trying to kind of build pipelines just to connect with and bring this to their awareness.
That's great. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And for roles like this, then I'll pass the mic. What do you feel like is a successful time window as far as like what would be your desired retention? Because very few people are going to do it for decades.
Yeah.
But you want a certain number of years before.
No, that's a wonderful question. If you ask my director, she wants them to be lifers, so lifetimers. We really wanted them to be there for about 3 to 5 years. Because if they're there for less than that, we kind of feel like we made the wrong hire. And that's one thing that's really enjoyable. Like, my title is recruiter, but I'm never selling this role. I'm really just trying to be fully transparent to people that are interested. So, you know, we're relocating them to Pennsylvania. We pay for all this. We don't want there to be any surprises. Like, we were trying to be so transparent. I almost try to scare people away from it on the front end. Like, once you apply, it's a long hiring process. It's a big commitment that we're asking for. It's an extremely unique role. So if we make a hire and they quit in a year or 2, you know, we really look inward. We do a survey and like, what didn't they know? Like, where did we miss the mark? Because we're not trying to sugarcoat anything about it. Although we do throw a lot of chocolate at them, so. Yes.
So just to follow up on what you just said there, my first question was, so 3 to 5 year time ideal, what's your normal turnover rate? How many people are you looking to recruit a year?
That's a great question. We're trying to hire as many as possible because since we're fully funded, we already have identified 500 students that we could bring on, but the bottleneck right now is actually the house parents. You know, when you bring on a student, you have to have a lot of people around them. It takes literally a village to take care of these kids. So we would love to take on as many hires as possible. It's difficult to get hired. Even like applications wise, that's one thing, but actually getting through the hiring process is challenging. You have to work with your spouse, a married couple. It takes two to tango, so both people have to apply individually. They both have to be committed to this mission, and it's not an easy job. You know, we make it easy to be a parent, but if anyone here is a parent, you know it's not easy. Like,
So-
we handle a lot of that, but
Two ideas for you, and maybe these are good fits, so I'd appreciate the feedback. Have you considered high affinity, low income job fairs? Like, I'm thinking Disney specifically. You have a lot of caring people at Disney that are stuck in, I used to work for Disney, kind of dead end jobs where a $90,000 a year salary with all expenses paid would be a massive step up for them. Have you considered things like that?
it's a great suggestion, and I'm definitely open to it. I haven't thought of like a Disney job fair specifically. Lately, I don't know what it is about job fairs, but they're expensive to attend, typically at $1,500 to $2,000. And the quality of candidates there is disappointing, to say the least. And it's hard because not very many people are going to that looking to relocate. So I do have a budget I have to work within, and every time I spend $2,000 at a hiring event, I leave a little disappointed, but it's really like finding the right quality individual there. So I would have to look into that. That sounds like a good
The other
suggestion.
one you may want to consider as well is either former or prospective foster parents.
Yes.
That's another.
If somebody knows how to break into that demographic, I would love to learn it, because I'm trying to learn a little bit more about the fostering program. I know a lot of people are interested in it, but I'm very new to this myself. I used to do corporate recruiting, so this has been a big transition for me, but that's a great suggestion.
We
Thank
can
you.
talk afterwards. My parents are in that community a
Okay,
little
thank
bit.
you. I love that.
That would be a great idea.
There goes my phone.
I mentioned our librarian to you. She would be a great introduction, and she could probably find a good counterpart in that Tampa market for you.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, that would be where I would go, the library.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sure you present at churches, yeah?
You know, that's my goal. Churches are hard to break into.
It's hard to present something like this at a
Yeah.
church? That's interesting.
I want to change my title. I'm already talking with my director. When I approach a church during the day, and I'm a recruiter, there's a lot of people that can tell me no before I find like a pastor that's like, oh, let me just hear your story. And once I kind of get to that point, I have the opportunity. That's why I'm trying to present as much as possible to find inroads to these churches. Because if I just go into an office, I haven't had great luck with it. But I think like clergy would love to hear
Yeah,
this.
I think it's like just pitching it to the right person.
Yeah.
There's a group about, like, speaking about foster care. So I'm part of what's called wraparound care at my church. And there's a group that all they do is they go to churches and they try to install wraparound care for foster families. Like, basically the goal is, can we get every church to have at least one foster family in it, and then have volunteers that sign up to do wraparound care, which is basically like, I'll come babysit once a month for you.
Yeah.
And there's I forget the name of the group, but I'm part of it, so I can look into it. The person who's the representative for that would probably be interested in this.
Okay.
And because it's so similar to what their calling is.
Yeah. I would love to kind of
And
meet
that
with
would
you
be an
afterwards
interesting
and
way to
just follow up
potentially
with you and
break
talk about
into
it.
present at churches.
Thank you.
So I have a job title for you.
Okay.
You are the director of parental fulfillment.
I don't know if my director will like that.
And that is
but-
what you're selling.
Yeah.
That is the value of what you're selling. You're not selling, all expenses paid, salary and all that. No, you are selling them the value of being good parents to bring up good kids that are going to be assets to humanity. And that's the position.
Okay.
The fostering things is fine, is a great idea actually. Adoption agencies, right? They have lists and lists and lists of people again, but I'm sure there's all kinds of laws and regulations about that. But at least you can make it known to them that, hey, if these are people that are looking to look after kids and things like that, be parents.
Absolutely.
It's a natural there too. So
And these are all the inroads that I'm trying to develop. So these are great suggestions, everyone. Thank you. Another one that I'm actually looking at is like missionaries that are returning to the United States who have been overseas. This is a cool role because we provide them residence and housing, so an easy transition back.
They don't have to raise money.
and remember, this is being
they don't have to raise
videotaped.
money.
This is being taped.
Yeah.
So watch the video when it
Oh,
comes
yeah,
out and
absolutely.
study it and remember and.
In one word, or one sentence, you need an elevator pitch. Your title is hurting you.
Yeah.
We are the group to help you with that elevator pitch.
Thank you.
Intrinsic value. What he said about the intrinsic value of they're getting fulfillment. That's like, I think that's one of the most important words. Because the money is just the secondary support. It's the intrinsic value they get from being in that parental role.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
So,
Yes, sir.
so great mission. I guess with everything being outsourced, so parenting is being outsourced here. It's like, parenting as a service now, what you guys are doing. But I think, my question is, what do the parents get out of it? Like, obviously the education is there, right? I mean, are there any concerns that parents have raised about security, about the type of education and,
I mean, that's an excellent question. I think parents, I think it's difficult to send your kid to a school like this, but a lot of times these parents are just, like I mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, the kids are coming from low income. So typically the kids that we're enrolling their parents aren't there for them. The parents don't have the bandwidth to take care of themselves, to get themselves into a better position. Maybe they're working 2 or 3 jobs, so they just don't give the kids what the kids need. So it's hard to sell it like this, but like what I've learned from just observing is that this gives the parents an opportunity to trust that their kids are going to an excellent institution, and then they can kind of get themselves into a better place as well. And the parents are very involved. We're not removing them from their families. We want the parents to be right there alongside these kids. They're allowed to come visit. They communicate with the students. But if I had to think about sending my kid off, that's got to be a very difficult decision.
it's a boarding school, right? So that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a boarding school essentially. It's a residential school, but funded by Hershey Chocolate. So the school itself is extremely impressive, very modern. The resources that it has are resources that these families typically don't have access to.
Well, one thing that I would like to see is that in this slide we had the demographics. I'd like to see how many kids graduated and went on to college and stuff like that. I think that would be really nice to see.
Yeah, I give 15-minute presentations where, to be honest, it's hard to present this in 5 minutes. Because I love to show you guys all that, and I have 15 and 20-minute presentations that I provide that info. But for the sake of 1 million cups, it's I got to hit it in 5 minutes. It's tough.
I think I'm the last comment. I would suggest or wonder if you've approached Rotary clubs, Kiwanis clubs, and those types of things, because that would be, to me, if you're going to look for the elder market, and then also there's a lot of young professional groups on Meetup and Eventbrite where you have these different networking events.
Yeah.
And you may be able to find some people there that are looking out, they're networking, they're doing all kinds of things, but those are people that are a little more aggressive in their careers. And you may end up finding couples there. It's just a couple ideas. I've been to some down in...
It's very interesting you mention that, because my strategy, when I first started, my first 6 months was a mess. I didn't know what to do. And the last 3 months I joined Kiwanis. I'm going to present there as well at the St. Petersburg one. I hadn't thought about meetups, because one thing I realized is instead of going to other people's events and just trying to word salad the school, it's very hard to be at an event and just in 1 minute tell you what I am doing. I was I need to start throwing my own networking events, and Meetup might be a good catalyst for that. But Kiwanis and Rotary have been proven very successful for me.
Great.
Thank you.
Do you have a contact slide?
Yes.
Okay. So my friend Scott back here said he wanted to start a 1 Million Cups chapter in Pennsylvania, but he thinks his 27 felony charges might be a hindrance.
Yeah, that would probably be a challenge.
All right, so what can we, as the Orlando community of 1 Million Cups, do?
You guys already had some wonderful suggestions for me. I'd love to follow up with a couple of you as well. And if you are active in any community groups that you think would like to learn about this, let's talk after that, and I would love to learn how I can present to them or just bring their awareness to it.
That's great. And I think Rotary would be a great way to go.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. The biggest problem that Rotary has with nonprofits is that they're all looking for money, right? So if you can go in and say, hey, I'm a nonprofit, but we don't need any money, we're fully funded, we want to just share with you what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I go to a lot of nonprofit networking events, and that's always challenging because I'm fully funded, and like, if you're networking with just nonprofits, it's always like, how can we get resources?
Yeah,
and there's like
exactly.
some clever ways I can give them resources, but obviously can't be money.
You can start your presentation not asking for money.
That's your elevator.
Yeah.
I'm a nonprofit that's not looking for money.
No, that's not a misnomer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
I appreciate it.
good,
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, just put that right on the counter there. So these are some of our sponsors that are here. We are in the Tech Hub. Donut Central provides all of our donuts and sweets. We meet every Wednesday all across the country, sometimes a little bit different time, but for the most part, 8:30 to 9 is our meet and greet, get to know each other. 9 to 10 is our program. Share us and follow on social media. I encourage you to take pictures of presenters, post that on your social media, increase the exposure of what we're doing, and help people know that we're here. Next week, we have a very, very special event coming. So we have 26 international entrepreneurs that are coming. So we have a catering company that's going to come in. She's starting a new catering company, and she's actually bringing food. So I'm not sure what she's bringing yet, but she'll be here. And then we're going to do like a kind of a panel. So we have 2 of them have volunteered they want to speak, and then 2 of us will sit down, we'll figure out who's going to be here for that. But this would be a great thing if you want to expose people something different to do. Next week would be a great time to do that. So I'm looking forward to it. And it'll give you an opportunity to get to talk with successful entrepreneurs. These guys are coming literally from all over the world. South America, the Mideast, Europe, Africa, all over the world, they're coming. Okay? Orlandopreneur next Monday night at 5:30 at our favorite little Primrose Bowling Lanes, which is always a fun place to go hang out. And then we have wives, wallets, and wine. Dangerous combination, but no, we're doing tonight. We're actually, with Rob and Alicia and myself, we're doing a presentation down at their office on wine, wills, and wealth, and helping people understand the connection and protecting what you have and that sort of thing. Be a lot of fun.
How is wine associated with wills and wealth?
It's just a,
Getting people to show up to the event.
yes.
Just like the coffee.
Just like wine.
That's right.
It's having people show up, and if nobody shows up, we'll have a good time.
Right.
These are our Million Cups organizers. If you're an organizer, raise your hand. So if you have any questions about the group, how do you present, how do you get set up, please come talk with one of us. We'll help you with that. Connect with somebody, as we talked about earlier. Go take them to coffee. Foxtail is actually selling Solai coffee, so ask for the Kenyan coffee when you're there.
I talked to Peter the other night at a little event that he was at.
Yes.
Went to, and he said that was a limited engagement, so we need to go have everybody go to Foxtail and ask for more Solai coffee, because he's not there right now.
Okay, did you hear that? So we want to ask for Solai coffee at Foxtail. So why come here? Attend, apply, prepare what you're doing, and share your presentation. And why do you want to do that? Because of marketing and brand awareness, practice and feedback, create strategic partnerships. I think that is one of the most overlooked things when you go out to networking groups or you go to events like Orlandopreneur to meet people. So many people, in my experience in over 20 years, heck 30 years now, of networking events, is that so many people come in and they show up and they go, hey, I'm the ABC of this. I'm the greatest gift that's ever walked into this place. And they don't understand the concept of People do business with those they know, like, and trust, and they don't stick around long enough to build a relationship and start having people work with them, okay? And the other thing that they miss is that strategic partnership. That's the most critical thing you can do. Who in this room do you know that you could work together with, just like we're doing? We have something that's a compatible services where we can add value to each other's clients. And that's what it's all about. So don't forget that. Hiring, retaining talent, and the get-to-know-you experience. Now, we need you. You have to come have a slice of cake over in our boardroom right next door and celebrate a very special person and event, Mr. Rupert Magnot. Please stand up. Today is Rupert's 500th Million Cup event. And
He does one a year.
One a year, exactly. You know the movie Highlander, that's who they based it on, right?
There can be only one.
Yeah, but so now you know why you scan and stuff. You'll get, this was recognition brought forward from corporate. They did send you a gift. Unfortunately, they had a problem with UPS, so it'll come. They were going to ship it to my house so we could bring it in as a surprise for you.
Okay.
So you should have it next week.
Okay, that'll be a surprise next week. Okay.
All right. So congratulate Rupert. Come on, just literally right over here, just past the bathroom on the right. Come on in, celebrate, grab a piece of cake. Make sure you grab some coffee on your way out. Okay. Rupert, you want to say anything about this?
So it's been a labor of love. When I first found out about 1 Million Cups, it was in 2013 when Daniel Shea and Ron Benziv brought it to Orlando, and I wasn't able to attend the first one, but I managed to attend the second one and subsequent, and then I became an organizer in 2016, and I've been pretty much a co-organizer since. And I don't know, have I missed 10 in that period of time, I think, maybe? Yeah, so, the one thing I love about it is it really is the best education that an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur can have. And one of the primary reasons why 95% of us fail is because we don't self-educate. And we don't have the right mindset, and we don't plan sufficiently. And when you come to 1 Million Cups, if you have the right mindset, then it helps you self-educate because you're learning by example from the people that are presenting, right? And you're listening to the questions and the feedback that more seasoned and more experienced people are offering these people. There is no better learning opportunity. Right? No classroom's going to give you that. And so, and experience is painful. This is easy. You even get free donuts and coffee, for crying out loud, right? And so that's why I've loved this and why it's been a labor of love, and the tens of thousands of hours I've put into it has been rewarding. So, and we've helped out, as you know, as many of you know, we've helped out a lot of people, a lot of companies get started by coming to 1 Million Cups. And once they get the bug of presenting their idea and feeling comfortable, then they start doing more and more of it. And then, and then we get to celebrate their success as well. So thank you so much. I appreciate you all coming.
So come on in and thank Rupert. And just something you said, Rupert, which reminds me, when you're out following on the social media stuff, leave a comment there about your experience here. Did you meet somebody? Did you hear something that changed the way you thought about doing something? That testimony can help bring more people here to help us as we move forward, okay? So make sure if you haven't signed in or scanned in, please do so. And we'll just share our closing thought for the day. It's not what you know, it's not even who you know, it's what you implement that counts. After all, you can't build a reputation on, I like to say, I'm fixing to get to. So go do it, all right? set your phones back on Go Kill It, and come on in and join us for a piece of cake. And congratulate Rupert.
Congratulations, Rupert.